The King are here once again with Madden Simulation and Madden. Well, it's not been a good year for Madden. Madden is only 1-6 so far entering week 6. I mean, Madden has gotten the season opener wrong, week 1 wrong, week 2 right, week 3, week 4, and week 5 wrong. So sooner or later, Madden might just get a correct prediction. And it might start with this week with the Pittsburgh Steelers versus the still undefeated Kansas City Chiefs at Arrowhead Stadium. And, well, as my game of the week, we will only find out as the events roll on. But what past weekend has this been in the NFL? I mean, just this past Sunday, how many injuries did we see happen? I mean, we had two big ones, you know, Odell Beckham Jr. and J.J. Watt. Anyone and everybody else was minor. But nothing as big as those two. I mean, more or less, well, the New York Giants wide receivers in general this past week. I mean, Odell, Brandon Marshall, Sterling Shepard. I'm sure there's another one. Like, they got no one to throw to this upcoming week against Denver. But I mean, the two big injuries that people were talking about this past week were Odell Beckham Jr. and J.J. Watt. And some people were arguing, why was Odell still playing? He shouldn't be playing. He should get all the money. Well, you know, players want to play. I mean, sometimes, yes, they want to argue for more money, but sometimes they know what's best and good for them is go out there and play and prove why they need to make that money. But I mean, it's Odell. Not saying karma's a bitch, but maybe, just maybe, this might be an attitude adjustment for him. But that's maybe neither here nor there. But then, on the flip side, you got J.J. Watt. I mean, he was a non-contact injury to the most part. I mean, he planted just wrong, slipped and turned, and boom, there goes his what? I forget what broke, but it was awkward though. How much and how far that the camera crew decided to stay on J.J. because you never really saw that before. You know, he goes down. Cameras all over him. They show him gimping off, you know, getting help carried off the field. And then next thing you know, they show them, you know, him riding to the back, going in the locker room, show him coming out of the locker room, gimping onto the ambulance, and then showing the ambulance to leave the stadium. And you never really saw that before. You never saw that much detail in a player's injury. How far and how close they more or less documented a player's injury. Is more like, well, he's been rushed to a hospital. He's been ruled out and this and that. And it's like, it was just very interesting how close they stayed with JJ. And I mean, I understand what JJ, you know, did try and raise money for Houston for Hurricane Harvey, and over what, $10 million, if I think it was more. I forget how much money JJ Watt raised for Hurricane Harvey. Let's see real quick. 37 million, yeah. 10 million, that was just a little shy. But I mean, it was ridiculous how much money he was able to raise. He just made a simple video, asked for people's help, and you know what? I'm pretty sure it was a handful of people of, you know, different races, colors, creed, all pitching in just to help out. And you didn't think about that. You just like, let's pitch in another fellow human being. If I was in that situation, I wish I had help. Relief people help me get my feet back on the ground. There's no injustice, racial, whatever. But you semi get the point where I'm going with this. But it just seemed like this past weekend we had a handful of injuries and didn't know what to do. And everyone raising that question of, how violent this sport is. But I mean, it is what it is. But then on the plus side, you look at a guy like Devontae Adams. He got his clock cleaned 2 weeks ago. And 10 days after, suffering concussion, being carted off the field, he comes back, roaring to go, makes 2 incredible touchdowns for the Packers and leads them from a comeback win over Dallas in Big D. And just show that, hey, it's not you're not done until you're done. And I was kind of skeptic on how healthy and how ready he would be for that game, and surprisingly enough, he was healthy, he was ready to go, and not saying he won't have any long-term effects from that concussion hit to the head and so on and so forth, but just hope for the best down the road. And then how about Aaron Rodgers? Does it again in Big D. Green Bay Packers are still undefeated at AT&T Stadium, Jerry's World, ever since that was built. Their first game was Super Bowl 45, beating the Steelers. And then 2013, they had this huge comeback thanks to Matt Flynn when Rodgers was on the sideline, injured with his broken collarbone. And then last year's playoffs, 30-something seconds he had to march down the field to get in field goal range, and then this past week he had a minute 16 to march down the field to get a touchdown. They were only down by 3, and he wasn't thinking field goal because how Crosby was struggling. If Crosby didn't struggle with either shanking on his own, hitting the upright, or a bad snap, the game would have been tied, and they only need would have been a field goal and so on and so forth. But it's just so funny. People didn't realize. All Packer fans were like, they left Rodgers with too much time. We got this. And Cowboy fans are like, we're going to beat the Packers. We're going to improve to 3-2 or 3-2, so on and so forth. But now they're 2-3. They almost. They're 2-3 now. They're entering their bye. They almost. I mean, Dak had a nice bait and switch, with the halfback option, kept himself and ran in. And some NFL experts like you should took a knee. You should went down, take more time off the clock. Don't give any time to Aaron Rodgers, because Aaron Rodgers is one of those quarterbacks. He's going to kill you, even with one timeout. He's going to kill you and come back and make you pay. And then just this whole week, it felt like there's this great debate going on between Aaron Rodgers and Tom Brady, and how, Tom Brady, he is the GOAT. He is the greatest of all time. Well, in my mind, he's not. The only reason why people say he is the greatest of all time is those 5 Super Bowl rings with a couple asterisks next to them. In my mind, that's just my personal opinion. But with those rings, it takes a team to win. I mean, Tom Brady didn't play defense for New England when they were down 28-3. and he did not prevent Atlanta from scoring again in that game. He did not. He can't kick a field goal. He didn't kick that game winner against the St. Louis Rams to win their first Super Bowl in franchise history. He can only do so much, and yes, he could engineer drives that were incredible. But I mean, you look at the 2-day loss, that was like some of his greatest stats of all time, and he couldn't win, couldn't get past those defenses of New York. But that's besides the point. I mean, you go back to the Cowboy-Packer game on that 3rd and 8. Rodgers scrambles out of the pocket and runs for the first down. Tom Brady couldn't do that. He would have been sacked. He would have probably thrown it away and set up for a field goal to tie it. I mean, Aaron Rodgers is more athletic than Tom Brady ever was or ever will be. And if you put Aaron Rodgers on any other team, that team would be a playoff caliber team. He would make that team in the conversation. If the Packers did not have Aaron Rodgers, Green Bay would not be a playoff caliber team year in, year out. Unless, their other quarterback or other players stepped up and came to the plate and proved that they can help lead this team as a group. I mean, it sucks that Aaron Rodgers has never had a defense since win the Super Bowl to help carry them to another Super Bowl. Tom Brady, he has everything around him to help make him look like the greatest of all time. Aaron Rodgers, some are saying he's the best of all time. He's the GOAT. But he'll never be the GOAT because of Tom Brady. Tom Brady with his 5 Super Bowl rings, he is the GOAT. No. I don't care, first off and foremost, if I'm on this losing argument. It feels like I'm a LeBron fan trying to argue against a Michael Jordan fan that LeBron is better than Michael Jordan. I'm just always going to be because of, as a fan of Aaron Rodgers and the Green Bay Packers, and my jealousy. But I have that right to argue saying that Rodgers will and always will be, and always was the best there is, the best there was, and best there ever will be. And Tom Brady, no, he isn't, and no, he won't. Those 5 rings, doesn't mean he's the best. He's the greatest of all time. I mean, Bart Starr, former Green Bay Packers quarterback, he has 5 championship rings, but, people don't want to recognize the first 3 because they were prior to the Super Bowl. But that doesn't mean Bart Starr was the greatest of all time just because he had 5 Super Bowl rings. That team was led by their running game and their defense. So, it's a debate of end of time. Since now Peyton Manning has retired, we needed somebody to replace Peyton Manning with Tom Brady, and apparently it's Aaron Rodgers. And it's going to be fun when Tom Brady finally decides to retire, either by himself or by forcibly. Who's there then? Who's there going to compete with Aaron Rodgers? Who is out there, the next quarterback right now, who's slinging it, making plays, and so on and so forth? I mean, there's a handful of good quarterbacks out there. I mean, Alex Smith, he's halfway decent. He's putting up MVP caliber numbers, but he's going to be in that conversation with Aaron Rodgers because, they were drafted the same year. Either the 49ers were going to draft Aaron Rodgers or Alex Smith, and they decided to go with Alex Smith and, kind of bit him in the butt. But that's only because of how successful Rodgers has been. I mean, I don't know who's out there right now. I mean, Drew Brees, Ben Roethlisberger, Philip Rivers, they're getting past their prime and going downhill. I mean, Matt Ryan, yeah, he won MVP last year. There's Cam Newton and so forth, but it's just a hard argument. But I semi-digress. There's one other news that just broke today that puts a big old smile on my face and put worry on Cowboys fans, because Zeke Elliott's suspension has been reinstated thanks to I don't know which court system, but one court saying, hey, we have overruled the smaller court on Zeke Elliott, since you and the NFL Players Association, I just might be out of context is little. But anyways, since they filed for an injunction prior to the arbitrator making his ruling, that was more or less saying, hey, you're jumping the gun. You have to wait until he makes his decision. You semi-know what his decision is going to be, and since you're jumping the gun, you didn't wait until the fully end of the process to, say, hey, doesn't matter what he says, you're going to be reinstated play. And so, long story short, Zeke has to serve his 6-game suspension unless he files another injunction or whatever. And right now the Cowboys are on a bye, so he has some time. So it's not like it would have hurt him this week. It's just the next 6 weeks. And I'm just hoping Zeke and company just let's just ride this course, because Zeke Elliott hasn't been that effective for the Cowboys. Just in my mind, just serve your 6-game suspension. It's week 6 now. You would have to sit out week 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So you would be back week 13.
And he's been solid as usual.
Let's see.
What you need to do. Make sure you get points out of every
who do the Cowboys play week 13? I think that's a week. Is that a week? That's the week after Thanksgiving. And the Cowboys played the Redskins on Thursday night, the following Thursday from Thanksgiving. So it's not, and the Cowboys, it's going to semi be tough. I mean, the Eagles are pulling away for first place. The Redskins, they could, take a hold of second. They're in a hold of second right now. They could, but I mean, they might be fighting for a wild card spot, so on and so forth. But I just say, Zeke, take your suspension. Take your suspension. Get it done over with. Don't have to miss the playoffs. Don't have to miss next year. You sit now. You come back. And you know what? How about you get a little in shape? Get in football shape. People say you showed up a little chunky, have other things on your mind. Get this out of your head. You don't have to worry about it anymore. You can focus on football. Try to come back, finish the season strong, and help the Cowboys, win the East next year. But let's take a look at some of the matchups that are happening this weekend. And it just still seems like you just don't know who's who. Yeah, you have New England, you have Green Bay, you have Kansas City. They know who they are. And then you got teams like Baltimore, Pittsburgh, Cleveland, Los Angeles, Rams, Jacksonville. Like, you're not sure who they are. Are they good? Are they bad? Whatever. But Thursday night we saw Philadelphia take on Carolina. Other matchups this weekend, we have Miami and Atlanta, Detroit and New Orleans, New England taking on the Jets, San Fran versus Washington, Chicago taking on Baltimore, Cleveland versus Houston, Tampa Bay versus Arizona, LA Rams versus Jacksonville, which surprisingly might be a good one. Pittsburgh versus Kansas City, LA Chargers take on the Raiders, New York Giants and Denver going at it on Sunday Night Football, and the Indianapolis Colts taking on the Tennessee Titans on Monday night in a showdown in the AFC South, which will have a lot to deal with. Who, seeding, standing, so on and so forth, on who's going to win the South. But I don't know. The Rams-Jacksonville game, who's going to show up? Which team is going to show up? Is it going to be a huge defensive battle, or is it going to be offense powerhouse? Is Jacksonville going to show us that, hey, we're for real. We were supposed to make this step last year. We took a step back. We're ready this year. I mean, they are in first place in the AFC South, while the Texans, the Colts, and the Titans are all 2-3 and one game behind. Jacksonville lose. Houston, the winner of the Indianapolis-Tennessee game, they're tied.
And now
You're
you're seeing
tied
guys
with
with their hands on
Jacksonville
their
for
hips,
first
they bend
place.
over, hands on their knees, and the offensive guys
Oh, the New York Denver game was supposed to be, a thriller. Everyone happy, excited, but the Giants aren't who we thought they were, and they just suck. And if Denver loses that game, oh my God, that's why I'm picking Denver as my shoe-in, my guarantee pick. Denver over the Giants. And my upset pick, well, I gotta go with the rookie that somehow got a passing touchdown, somehow got a 2-point conversion, and made his debut on Monday Night Football for the Bears. I gotta go with the Bears and Mitch Trubisky over the Baltimore Ravens in my upset pick, because I still don't know who the Ravens are. And I think, nerves have settled down. Mitch and company, they're ready. They're ready to go. They're going to come to Baltimore and take care of business. And this game, well, right now, Pittsburgh's up 45-27? No. Pittsburgh losing to Jacksonville at home. There's something with Pittsburgh. Something is getting to the Steelers. I mean, it's probably all this in-house fighting, especially with the national anthem protests. Antonio Brown being unhappy that they don't throw him the ball when he's wide open. And then, okay, fine, Antonio, we'll throw you the ball. Oh, look, 5 interceptions by Ben Roethlisberger. Are you happy now? And Kansas City at home at Arrowhead with that defense and company and offense. Alex Smith putting up MVP caliber numbers and Kareem Hunt just running all over everybody? I don't think so. So, Madden, I hope you get this wrong and you are then go 1-7. But I gotta go with Kansas City with this one. And Pittsburgh, I mean, last year you dug yourself in a hole and you dug yourself out and won the AFC North, just like the Packers last year. And I think Pittsburgh was 4-5 and won 7 in a row. Green Bay was 4-6 and they won 6 in a row, and they both won their divisions respectfully. But I just don't see Pittsburgh putting up 45 points. I think they end up putting up 48. Spoiler in this game. So, but otherwise, I think this Sunday we got a handful of decent games. New England, the Jets. I mean, I'd be surprised if the Jets upset New England. But no, I think the New England's going to put a hold on the Jets. I know the Jets are on a 3-game win streak. Yeah, they've won 3 in a row, and New England's going to put that to an end. San Francisco, Washington. Kyle Shanahan versus the whole team. We'll see. Oh, what was that? 48-34. Alex Smith just threw an interception. Well, that looks like that's the ball game, folks. So that'll do it more or less for me. Go enjoy. Watch some foosball this weekend. Watch some football. Sit down, relax, enjoy, and just hopefully we'll see if Kansas City can keep their winning streak going, stay undefeated, or Pittsburgh, puts up 48 on this defense, which I just don't see happening. But and hopefully we don't have an injury-riddled week like last week. So stay safe. Stay safe, people. So until next week, thanks for watching. This is the King R. Until then, thanks.
They can't help but feel great about themselves, can they? I mean, what a game.